Welcome. I'm Joni, and this is Joni's Doll Photography. Today we're joining Dorie at Dorie's Dollies for Flashback Friday. For our Flashback Friday, we're going to share a book about the Sweet Patootie Doll. Since this is a doll channel, and I have here a very old book, and I have Penny Bright here. Penny Bright is an old doll from 1963, and this book is from 1957. The Sweet Patootie Doll was written by Mary Calhoun. This book on eBay or Amazon goes for $140 to $199 to more dollars. How I got this book was it was a withdrawal book from the library. They were going to throw it away, so they offered it in a stack, and I got it for my kids when they were small. They didn't mind that it was such an old book. So this is the Sweet Patootie Doll by Mary Calhoun, illustrated by Roger Duvoisin. And it's from William Morrow and Company, New York, 1957. Our copy is not great, but it is readable. And I'm going to read it to you today. It's by Mary Calhoun, who also wrote many children's books, especially the ones about Henry the cat. This says, to Michael and Gregory, who wanted a story one day, 1957, by Mary Calhoun. And I'll set the book here, and we can begin. Once upon a time, there was a Sweet Patootie Doll. What's that? Why, a doll made out of a sweet potato, of course. Well, this little old Sweet Patootie Doll belonged to a girl named Lucy, and this is how the doll came to be. Lucy lived on the tip-top of Stony Bald with her mam and her pap and her old hound dog. She didn't have a cat. She didn't even have a doll. So one end of winter day, Lucy climbed down into the root cellar, and she found an old brown sweet potato. It had a bump on one end, just right for a head, and the bump had two specks, just right for eyes, and a brown curvy scratch, just right for a mouth. Lucy tied a yellow handkerchief around the sweet potato for a skirt, and a piece of blue wool for a shawl. And for a bonnet? Why, the cut-off thumb of Lucy's woolen mitten, for sure. Then Lucy loved and loved and loved it, until it was the Sweet Patootie Doll. Every day, Lucy and the Sweet Patootie Doll played together. On sunny days, with spring coming on, they had tea parties. Every sunny afternoon, a tea party on the old stump in the side yard. "Won't you have tea, Miss Sweet Patootie Doll?" Lucy would say, pouring water into an acorn, and the Sweet Patootie Doll's curvy mouth would smile a big brown smile. One afternoon, they were playing tea party when Lucy's mother called her. Lucy ran into the house and forgot the Sweet Patootie Doll. So the doll just sat on the stump in the sunshine, smiling her big brown smile. Pretty soon, old Mr. Coon came sniffing along. When that coon smelled the Sweet Patootie Doll, he said to himself, "Aha! Sweet potato for dinner." Up to the stump he scampered and grabbed the doll in his mouth, and off to the piney woods he ran. First he headed for the brook, for he thought he had better wash his paws before he ate. He washed as careful as any coon on Stony Bald Mountain, and then he turned around to eat the Sweet Patootie Doll. But the Sweet Patootie Doll just smiled and smiled, because she knew what she was for, and it wasn't for eating. When Mr. Coon saw that smile, it made him feel so queer that he turned tail and ran. Somehow, he didn't want sweet potato for dinner after all. All by herself, the Sweet Patootie Doll lay on the grass, while a mockingbird called sweetly from a blackhaw bush. Wasn't long, though, before a silly young fox came bouncing along. He spied the bright bonnet. Snuff, snuffle! He smelled the Sweet Patootie Doll. "Aha!" he said to himself. "Sweet potato for dinner! Hi-ho!" And he snatched up the Sweet Patootie Doll. Off he ran to find a quiet place to eat her. But the Sweet Patootie Doll just smiled her big brown smile, because she knew what she was for, and it wasn't for dinner. Silly young fox never did find that quiet spot, though, for crash, clump, growl! Here came Old Man Bar, looking for dinner. "I smell sweet potato," he growled. Silly young fox dropped that doll like a hot potato and zipped his bushy red tail away into the woods. Grumph! Yum! Old Man Bar smacked his lips as he got his paws on the Sweet Patootie Doll. But the Sweet Patootie Doll just smiled, because she knew what she was for, and it wasn't for Old Man Bar. Just then, a roof, came ringing through the trees. It was Hound Dog, smelling out Old Man Bar. Old Man Bar dropped the doll and shuffled himself away from those parts faster than jump. A roof! Snuffle, 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 snuffle. Hound Dog followed Old Man Bar's trail. Snuffle, snuff, right up to where the Sweet Patootie Doll lay under a pink dogwood tree. "Snuff!" said Hound Dog in surprise. "A big sweet potato." He couldn't see very well, so he didn't know that the potato was Lucy's doll. "I'll just bury this in my bone pile," Hound Dog told himself. So away went Sweet Patootie Doll in Hound Dog's mouth. But she just smiled the same as ever before, because she knew what she was for, and it wasn't for burying. A leap and a bound, and there they were, right back in Lucy's side yard. Just as Hound Dog came to the old tree stump, he heard Pap calling him. Plump! On the stump he dropped the Sweet Patootie Doll. Lucy came skipping out of the house then, looking for her doll. She spied her on the stump. "Why, poor old Sweet Patootie Doll," she laughed. "You've been waiting here for me all the time. I'm sorry I forgot you." She picked up the doll and hugged her hard. And the Sweet Patootie Doll just smiled her big brown smile, because she knew what she was for making a little girl glad. I hope you enjoyed the story of the Sweet Patootie Doll. This is just something a little different for Flashback Friday. And please check out Dorie's channel, Dorie's Dollies, and see her Flashback Friday video. And check out anyone else joining in on Flashback Friday in the doll community here on YouTube. And thanks for watching.